Hi, Rose. Thank you so much for sharing your introduction speech. It was really nice to have something that was available earlier than just today. I know we are all kind of last minute, and yours is submitted 3 days in advance, so thank you so much for that. Kudos to you and your studious efforts. I wanted to start off by saying that I really enjoyed hearing your background in terms of what your degree is and what you're going for, also what your plans are beyond graduation, because that's always a tough question, I think, for a lot of students trying to figure out what comes after graduation. For me personally, I graduate in December, and so after graduation, I'm going into a coding school online, and then in August of next year, I start grad school for my MBA. So it's a lot of schoolwork ahead, and I think that if you have even a slight inclination to do and continue your studies, you should absolutely do it. Now, coming to the presentation, I liked a lot of what you were talking about. You had a really good pace, and I felt engaged watching you. I found that sometimes your eyes seemed to go further down the screen, and it seemed like you were talking to someone further down rather than perhaps looking at the lens, which I know can be really distracting and challenging. It's kind of a natural reaction for people to look at themselves, and sometimes obviously the video is lower, like my video is right here. So that may be something to look into, just finding ways to maintain eye contact with the other lens, not the other person, I suppose, immediately, but that may be one idea, feedback. And then another thing to consider was I found you introduced yourself 3 times during the presentation, which is totally fine. Definitely Rose Keener. I really know your name, and beautiful name, by the way. But that's just a really quick thing that, one introduction at the beginning I think should be fine, and that is more than enough to let us know who you are, because you're pretty cool being from Portland. I'm a really big fan. In terms of what the weather's like here in Phoenix, it's about 90 or so degrees, dry, no rain, no nothing. I came from Detroit, which is right near Canada, so it's freezing. It's like 52 degrees there, and when I landed on Monday, it was 80 degrees, so I brought regular clothing, a dress, short sleeve shirt, and I had to buy literally a parka because I have such thin skin and thin blood from being in Phoenix, and I spent an entire week there for work. So now I have this parka that I don't know what I'm going to do with. But that's a little bit about Phoenician weather and what it's like here, plus at least my travels in Detroit. So hope you have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for sharing, and I'll hopefully hear from you again soon. Thank you.